In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the communication tools to interact with people that are in your contact database. It's important to note that as you interact with the various modules in the system, for people that have registered to use your site, they'll get notifications as things are created that are associated with them. So in the case where you create an event and that event is associated with a group, those people that are in that group will get notified about that event being created. Same thing goes when posts are created. When posts get created and comments are made, notifications will go out to individuals that are registered to use your site, and they'll be aware of those things. But in circumstances where you want to send out more mass communications, this is where these tools will come in handy. And so first I'll introduce you to the email editor. The email tool, as the name implies, allows you to send out templated emails to a group of people, to individuals, or to people that are subscribed to your newsletter lists. On the home page, you saw that there's an area for you to manage subscriptions. These subscriptions can be created, and you can send out links or add the link to one of your websites, and with that link, people can sign up to be a part of this subscription list. But so these are all the different types of people that can receive email messages: people that are in subscription lists, people that are in groups, and also contacts that are in the database individually. So I'll go in here. I'm going to create a new email and give you a feel for how that this is done. So first I'll create it, and as this loads up, you'll see that there's a lot of features available when you first create an email. Of course, there's the basic stuff like creating, putting a subject in there, indicating who's going to get it. Of course, the body of the email message. And in loading this first view, you'll see that this editor is pretty robust in how it's configured. We have a new editor, which is a little bit more simplified, although it's still on the background has the same functionality. The interface is a little simplified for ease of use, and so you'll notice here that it kind of functions similar to a standard email client. So for example, if I want to create a new email, I would just type in the subject. And then I'll type in my recipients. And this is the part that goes back to what I was explaining before. You can indicate a group and then select that group. You can indicate an individual and the name of a person. This person doesn't have an email address, so they won't get it. Okay. And you can choose one of your subscription lists. All right. And so now this email can go out to all these individuals when it does get populated. And at the bottom, again, very self-explanatory, we have this Wysiwyg Editor where you can go in, write text. Wysiwyg is what you see is what you get. So if you see it here, that's what you get. Go here, unbold that, and so I can get kind of creative with these email messages, do all kinds of weird stuff, and add links and add images. Images can be added using this button here. You'll click that button, click upload, choose a file from your computer. So this will come up with a file editor or a file selector. So say I choose this image here. I send it to the server to get it over to the system, and then it comes up. Now when this image comes up, you'll notice it's really big. I may not want it really big, so I can double click it, add a width to it. Say I want to only make it 300 pixels. It's important to do stuff like that because when people are reading the emails on their phones or mobile devices, if it's not formatted nice, sometimes it's hard to read. And so there's the email with the image in it. In addition to the ability to create your own email and template it how you want, there's also the ability for you to apply one of our preloaded templates for the email message. Now, I won't spend this video going into the details of these templates, but if I do choose a template, you'll notice here it'll tell me it's going to replace everything that I already have. these templates have been configured to work well on a mobile device, and so if you like to choose one of these, you would just go in and edit it, and you can modify the images and whatever else is in them if you want to go that route. Once you create the email, if you want in the email to have the person's name appear somewhere in there, like say you want to say, hey, Joe, instead of saying Joe, you can erase that and then put first name in there. So that's a placeholder for that person's first name. So when the email comes across, it'll say, hey, whatever the person's name is, give an opportunity. So that's kind of how that works. So when you create the email, you want to save it. Once it gets saved, you can then either choose to send it immediately by clicking the Send Now button, or you can click the Advanced button and indicate a time and a day for this email to go out. And so if you want it to go out sometime in the near future, you can schedule that accordingly. You can also indicate if you want whether or not you want the email to come from the system or the site versus coming from you, the logged in user. And so if I go here and I select from grplife Incorporated, that's the name of this site, that's the name that will appear on the from line of the email message. In any event, whatever name you choose, when someone responds to the email, they'll all go to the same inbox. And I'll show you that in just a moment. You can, of course, also add attachments to emails if you want to make sure that people get a document or some type of form you want to communicate to them. So that's the email editor in very brief form. If you have more questions about it, let us know. We can give more demonstrations on it. Once the email goes out, this email would then be frozen. It's done. It can't be sent again, except by choosing the clone button. And so if you do create an email and you want to be able to send it again, and you want to use all the same recipients and content, you would click the clone button, and that'll create a new copy of it for you to reuse. I'll show you an example of that real quick. I'm going to go to one of the emails that I sent out, or that we sent out recently. So I'll click on this email, and then I will now of course this is loading the legacy editor, which is just fine. It works very similar. A lot of this stuff is self-explanatory when you use it. The one thing that may be interesting is that you have two template forms. One is the text version of the email for people who can't read HTML, and the other one is for people who can read HTML in their browser, for example. But if I want to resend this email, I would just clone it. And again, by cloning it, it will copy down all the settings for it, and including the content. So that was me cloning an email message. One last thing on this area is that if you want to test out how the email looks, you can click on the preview email button and choose to send a preview, and type in the email address of the person you want to receive the email preview. I recommend choosing an email address that you use only for testing purposes. I wouldn't choose the email address that you have in the system, because we have this feature where the system will try to prevent duplicate emails from going out. So I recommend just choosing an email address that you'll only use for testing purposes. All right, so that's the email editor. I'll move on to the other feature, the SMS feature. So going back to communications, click on that. Your site should have a phone number configured in it. Your phone number is where you will where the messages that you send out via SMS will come from. Every account comes with 1,000 SMS messages a month, and that gets refreshed every month. If you run out of messages for some reason, you can go and add credit, and we have the credit being added in blocks of 1,000 for $10 a piece. So when you add new credit, of course, it'll increase your allotment of SMS for that month. The SMS messages for a given month do not necessarily carry over to the next month, but they are available for you to use throughout the course of the current month. So creating an SMS is super easy. You would just click the button to create an SMS. You'd give it a title, and this is really just for the purpose of tracking it in your view there. So test SMS, and whatever you want to say. Okay. And then the next thing you'll do is select the groups that will receive this message. Again, also self-explanatory, but whatever group you select here, they will get the text message based upon the phone number that they have registered with their account. That they have registered with their account, or the phone number that you've associated with that contact that's in that group. Because for SMS, these can be sent to people that haven't necessarily registered, but people that you have names and phone numbers for. Now, a special note on that as well: if you want to send out these messages via SMS, the first message that goes to the person is a request for them to consent to receive SMS messages from your site. And once they consent to receive those, then they'll get the message that you just sent, and of course all subsequent messages until they type in stop, which is they'll receive that instruction when they actually get the text message. So you won't have to explain that to them prior to sending it out. So once you do that, you'll save it, and then once you save it, there's an option to send it. And so again, very self-explanatory. I'll send this out. Why not? Click on OK, and that SMS message has gone out. I just got it on my phone, and there it is. It's telling me, because I haven't done this before on this phone, grplife Incorporated would like to send SMS messages, start or stop. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's what it says there. And I'll type in start or stop, but that's how it works. And you can also in here see who's consented to receive those messages. In case you're wondering whether or not your messages are going through, you can see whether or not people have either consented or not consented, and this gives you more visibility into that. All right. The last feature I want to demonstrate here is the phone tree tool. With the phone tree tool, you're able to create and record a message, select a group to receive a phone call for that message, and then when that phone call is placed, it will play the recording that you did when you set it up. So the credit system for phone tree messages is similar to the SMS, except that you get fewer per month. You get 300 call credits per month. These can be added in increments of, I believe, 350 and 100. So 350 is 15, and then the 100 voice messages is $10. So there's no question there which one would make the most sense to buy if you needed more for the month. And so that's how you add credit. The way you create a phone call is by clicking the Create Call button. Clicking that button, you'll add a title to it. I'm not sure how far in the future you're watching this, but this is the big deal right now, the COVID virus. And I'll give it a description. Okay. And then I'll say when the call should go out. You definitely want to schedule this. I don't think you can send it out without scheduling it. So maybe you can. We'll see that in just a moment. I should be more familiar. So I'll say I want this message to go out on the 27th at, let's just say, 10:45 a.m. I'll just save it as it is. All right. So now I've created this phone call. I got some description on it, and now it's ready for me to prepare it for delivery. So the first thing I'll do is indicate who should receive it. And so in this case, I'm going to go with, again, people that are part of our organization, our company, and that's the first thing you'll do. Of course, you can select multiple groups, and again, whoever is in those groups and has a phone number, they'll get the phone call when it's created. So now that I've created the group, selected the group, I'll then record the message. So the way the message recorder works is that you'll give it a phone number to dial, And the system's going to call you. And then once it calls you, it's going to tell you to record the message. And then when you record the message, you can play it back and then save this for delivery. So I'm going to go ahead and dial that. Okay, it's going to tell me it's going to call. Dialing the number. All right, let's see if this works. Should work. There it is. Okay.
323.
Call's coming in. So I'm going to answer that. Put it on speakerphone.
Chapter the tone.
All right,
Messages are limited to 1 minute.
All right.
Press pound when done.
Okay. All right. So this is a test message. It's going to go out to people that I really care about. So I'm going to press pound now.
Thank you. Your message will be processed.
All right. So my message
Goodbye.
will be processed. Goodbye. Okay. So now the message has been processed. I'm going to save this again. And now it's not going to immediately show, just for the record. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to refresh it by reopening it. And then I think I actually may have to reload this page because it really should catch it, but sometimes it doesn't. So to be faster, I'm going to reload. Okay. And so I have my message here. And I'm going to take a listen at it, make sure it sounds okay.
All right, so this is a test message. It's going to go out to people that I really care about. So I'm going to press pound.
All right, so that's our message. And so now that it's recorded, I can then press this button here to cue the call. So queuing the call means that I've done the recording. Of course, this cue button will only show up when I have a recording available. I've selected my group, and I've also indicated when the message should go out. So when I cue it, it's going to make the phone call to those individuals. And I'm going to actually change the date because I want to hear it now. So I'm going to go to, what's today? Today is the 17th. So 17th, and I'm going to say 9:25. That way it'll know it needs to go out. So I'm going to save it, and then I want to queue it. Queue the call. I'm going to agree to all that stuff. And now the call has been queued, and within just a moment, if I have to stop the video and come back so that we're not waiting for the call to come through, I will do that. But that call is being queued. And in just a moment, I should receive a message.
Unknown caller.
All right, there's the call. Let's pick it up.
This is a test message. It's going to go out to people that I really care about. So I'm going to press pound.
Oh, there it is. So that was the message that I recorded. It came out to my phone number. Now, it's important to remember that when you send out these phone tree messages, they're going to go out to the contacts that are in the group that you select. So make sure that the individuals that you want it to go to are listed as contacts in the group. And remember the distinction there that you have both users and you have contacts. And it's important to note, again, that these messages are going to go out to those people who are marked in your contact list, and of course, people that have phone numbers. So that's it. Those are the three of the core communication tools you can use. Of course, as I said before, you can use your posting tools to communicate with people that are registered. The mobile push tool, I didn't go into that, but that one's also relatively pretty self-explanatory. This is for sending out push messages to individuals that have downloaded your mobile app. And so this will just be send out a notification to them apart from any other type of module that's in the system. It just kind of sends an alert to let them know to think about something or to consider something as kind of a text message would be. So again, that's it. Hopefully that helps to understand how the communication tools work. If you have more questions, please contact us either by clicking on the chat bubble in your Group Life app on the site or by emailing us at support@grouplife.com. Thanks for watching.